Welcome to my house for another Amazing Stories Unwrapped. I just got back from a long and heavy workout. I don't know about you, but workouts wear me out. Well, maybe you're in a workout right now, but your workout is emotional. Perhaps you're trying to work your way out of some bitterness, some resentment or sadness or despair from past rejections or betrayal. Maybe you're still struggling with an unhappy childhood, a sadness that you could never quite measure up to what your folks wanted you to be. Or maybe you're angry over some emotional or physical abuse that you suffered at their hands or the hands of some other adult. You're still trying to work your way out of the negative feelings that weigh you down and keep you from moving forward from your childhood. Or perhaps you've been betrayed or abandoned by a spouse, some close friend, or some spiritual leader that you used to trust. Or maybe you gave your life to your company or career or job, only to be bypassed for that promotion that you feel you deserved. Or maybe you were unfairly let go altogether and now you're on the outside looking in and it hurts. So you're trying to work yourself out of the anger, out of the resentment, the hopelessness, the despair that weighs you down. Well, I'm here to give you some good news to help you by unwrapping an inspiring true story of hope just for you. I think that you will find this book that I wrote for my new book of amazing stories to be transforming. Now, after I finish this story, I hope you'll stick around for a couple of minutes and I'll share a few quick principles that have helped me work my way out of my own childhood mess, out of the times when life has let me down. I call the story The Unwanted Boy. Benny was born out of wedlock, born to an immigrant mother who was abandoned by her lover, a country doctor. It wasn't easy being the love child of an unwed mother, especially during the late 1800s in rural Tennessee. Teased unmercifully, Benny learned how to fight back with fist and bulldog tenacity. But his hard-shell exterior masked the shame he felt as the town ragamuffin. Mostly, Benny hated the way that the town gossips talked about the things his prostitute mother did at night to make ends meet for the family. Now, sometimes the boy would slip into the church house by himself on Sunday morning. His shabby clothes, his outcast status caused him to hide in the back pew. Most of the time, Benny would slip out before the benediction. But that day, he waited too long. The aisle was clogged with people. Benny was unable to avoid the new preacher in town. That preacher grabbed the boy by the shoulder and he said, "You must be the child of..." Looking perplexed, he repeated, "You must be the child of..." Benny shrank back in embarrassment. He figured that it wouldn't be long before some church lady chimed in that he was the son of the town tramp. But the pastor slapped him on the back and exclaimed loudly, "Now I recognize you. You are a child of God. Now you go out there and claim your rightful inheritance." A few months later, Benny's mother put him in an orphanage. And a few months after that, he was reunited with his father. With the new opportunities afforded by his doctor daddy and a dogged determination that he had forged in early childhood, Benny did go out and he did make something out of himself. But he would forever afterwards tell everyone that it was when a Baptist preacher told him to go out and claim his rightful inheritance that his life turned around. Years later, Benny was living out his last years in the Tennessee mountains of his childhood. One evening, as he left a restaurant, he passed by a vacationing seminary professor, Dr. Fred Craddock, the professor of preaching at Candler School of Theology at Emory University in Atlanta. Benny engaged him in some easy mountain banter. When Dr. Craddock told him that he taught young men how to preach, the old man broke into a wild smile. He told the professor about the preacher who inspired him one Sunday morning when he was an unwanted boy, the child of the town tramp. Then he whispered, "You tell your preacher boys that they can change lives by helping folks believe the best things about their future." As old Benny shuffled out of the restaurant, Dr. Craddock turned to his waitress and asked, "Do you know who that old man is?" "Well, everybody knows him," she said. "He's a legend hereabouts. His name is Ben Hooper, the most famous lawyer in this state and a 2-time governor of the state of Tennessee." You can read Ben Hooper's story in his autobiography, The Unwanted Boy. It proves that there is a transforming power in believing the best things about your future. Please don't allow the traumas of your childhood, the disabilities of your adulthood, the opinions of others, the sins, the mistakes of your past, or your own negative self-talk determine who you are. You are a child of God. As the preacher said to Benny, go out and claim your inheritance. Ben Hooper's triumphant story celebrates this unalterable, transforming truth that I live by. The future you see is most often the future you get. I like what Jesus said. Everything is possible for those who believe. So, how do you work out of your negative feelings about past rejections, about disappointments, hurts at the hands of others? Well, here are some principles that have helped me. Number one, you can't ever forget the past stuff. Memories can never be erased. That's a scientific fact. But you can get a new software package that helps you to reinterpret those events in a more positive and a more productive way. Number two, the bad stuff can be turned around for good purposes. Learn from the failures of the past. Make you better in the present and the future. If you've gone through deserts, help others who are going across the same desert by using what you learned from your own desert crossings. I mean, don't allow any bad experiences in your life to be wasted. Use them for good purposes. Number three, realize that those who hurt you had their own issues. Hurting people hurt people. It wasn't your fault as much as it was their problem. So stop blaming yourself. Maybe instead you should feel sorry for them. You should pray for them that they will get better. Number four, whenever you were some of the blame, fess up, confess up, then move on from your mess up. It's over. Quit revisiting it. Leave it in God's hands. Put it at the foot of the cross of Jesus. Number five, don't give others free rent in your mind. Don't allow the memory of what they did to you to continue to eat away at your heart, to fester away in bitterness, to be rehearsed and nursed over and over again. It's going to slowly kill you. So don't give them free rent in your mind. Kick out those past memories. Now you'll have to do it again and again and again. Every time it comes up, every time you remember, just say, I refuse, I refuse, I refuse, and put it out of your mind. Or better than putting it out of your mind, turn it around. As I said in the first principle, turn it into something good. Get a software. I would recommend the Bible software. The Bible will tell you ways that you can reinterpret the bad events in your life. The Bible says all things work together for good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. So figure out how those bad things have produced good things in your life. And I would also say it's really important that you move on. St. Paul said this one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind, I reach forward for the goal of the future. I mean, you have a choice. You can focus on the past, and you can let the past steal the good things in your present, rob you of the things you can do in the future. Or you can say, the past is past. I can't change it. Doesn't do any good for me to rehearse it, to go back over it, to think about it again and again, what could have been, what should have been. Rather, look forward to what can be. Like old Ben Hooper. Believe that you are a child of God, that He has an inheritance for you, that the bad chapters in your life have been written in your life for good purposes for the future. Believe this, as I say to you again and again, from this book, which you can get on Amazon.com, in Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or on our own website, robertpeterson.org. This book, Amazing Stories, with all the overcoming stories, reminds us that God is writing our story. The best lines are yet to be written. That's true. I guarantee it. You can bank on it. I'm good to be with you tonight. I hope as we move on from here, and as you move on from here, that you'll move to better and greater things. It's been really good to be with you tonight. God bless. Go with God, and great and good things are going to happen to you.